Effort at stabilizing the polity in the face of raging insecurity and a tension-packed, soaked election as still continue, and will bring you another edition of our program, Violence Free World. My name is Callivision. Welcome to the program. My guest on the program today is someone you will always love to listen to. I'm referring to no other than His Excellency, Senator Mohammed Adamu Aliero, former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja here, and a two-time governor of Kebbi State. Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to continue with the conversation right after this. Don't go away.
Nigeria is regarded as the most populous black nation in the world. This West African country has a population of about 200 million people, and its citizens, who are multi-ethnic and multilingual, practice mostly Islam and Christianity. This former British colony is ranked as the 6th largest producer of crude oil in the world, just as it is rich in agriculture and solid minerals. Nigeria's journey to nationhood, like many others, has been characterized by good and bad incidents. A peep at our route to nationhood points at the 1966 coup as the most dramatic incident. It led to the Civil War of 1967. Where millions of lives were lost and properties worth billions destroyed. While efforts at genuine reconciliation have continued, terror merchants with motives that are political, religious, and monetary have for a considerable while continued to visit mayhem on the citizens. The hallmarks of the present terror adventure are the insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria, the banditry in the northwest, herdsman crisis in the north-central and southwest Nigeria, and most recently, the southeast is beginning to experience what looks like the Borno-based insurgency in its nascence. Violence has therefore become a common denominator across Nigeria. Fear is palpable. Many citizens are beginning to wonder if the situation is hopeless. The reality, however, in certain parts of Nigeria elicits hope. Many analysts will readily cite the calm in the Niger Delta region after a near-total war and the reversal in status in Kogi State as a former Boko Haram training and IED-making haven as strong pointers that the reign of terror is surmountable. Efforts at restoring peace in Nigeria have been championed by many patriots on different fronts. The late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua is particularly still revered for his efforts at ending militancy in the Niger Delta region.
I and my people, we accept the amnesty.
In the same vein, the late Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali's memory will remain indelible in the hearts of Nigerians for leading his battalion to fight the Boko Haram in the northeast.
Welcome back. Excellency, let's dive into the conversation. We're talking about cost of governance. Right now, there's a public outcry concerning the billions of naira that are being expended, especially by the National Assembly, on procuring vehicles. Some as costly as 160 million naira per vehicle. And a lot of persons are talking, and many of your colleagues have been on TV to defend and then offer their opinions here and there. Some other persons only think that even if he must buy vehicles, supposing for the sake
Okay,
of keeping
I know what
the
you're talking about.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
just interrupt.
Yes.
You see, this issue of vehicles has been in the conventional and social media for quite a long time. I think there is a great deal of misunderstanding on this utility vehicles that are given to members of the National Assembly. I'm not trying to defend it, but I know since the restoration of democracy in 1999, it has always been the usual practice to provide vehicles, to provide utility vehicles for members of the National Assembly. They use these vehicles to carry out oversight functions, particularly long distance, journeys. And these vehicles are not given to members of the National Assembly free. They are paying for these vehicles.
Who pays?
Members of the National Assembly are paying from their monthly salary. Every month, certain amount of money is deducted from from their monthly allocation. And they pay this into the coffers of the National Assembly. At the end of the tenure of the administration or of the session, if there is any balance that is left, that vehicle will be valued by the valuer appointed by the clerk of the National Assembly. There is something they call board of survey. There are a team of vehicle experts that will come and inspect that vehicles. And they will they will give value to that vehicle. A member of the National Assembly will be given the option of paying the amount that has been arrived at. If he is not interested, he will be asked to drop that vehicle.
What happens to all of his contributions that have been taken previously?
I'm coming. Even after deducting your salary, the money is not enough to pay for the vehicles. So these vehicles, for goodness sake, are not free. They are paid at the end of the tenure. Any outstanding amount left unpaid as a result of the deduction from your monthly salary will be paid either from your severance allowance, or if your severance allowance is not enough to pay for the balance, you will be asked to look for money and pay before you take the vehicle.
Okay, well, can't you see?
But nobody has come out to explain it the way it is. I have been in the National Assembly since 2007. I know this happens in the 6th Senate. It also happens in the 7th Senate. It happens in the 8th Senate. In the 9th Senate, I have just been told that I'm to pay about 11 million naira for the vehicle given to me, outstanding. Apart from the money I paid for my salary, I'm to pay about 11 million naira.
From a previous...
yeah, of course.
Not this one that is coming.
No, not this one that I'm... No. This one, I've not even seen it. For goodness sake, I've not even seen the vehicle. Yes.
Excellency, okay, now, concerning this same issue, this looks like it presented the senators a very good opportunity to patronize our locally made vehicles here. You have Innocent, you have other, even GAC, or you would have even encouraged Toyota and the rest of them to assemble here so we can keep, we can save our foreign reserves here too.
Yeah, that I agree with you, yes. That it's a bit of good opportunity
because some of your
for
colleagues,
members of the National Assembly to patronize locally assembled vehicles.
Yes.
Because if we do so, we will be promoting employment generation, we will be promoting economic growth, we will be promoting prosperity for the country. Unfortunately, we are not doing that. But that is left to the management of the National Assembly to handle. I'm not even supposed to come and start defending the purchase of vehicles by the National Assembly. That is the responsibility of the management of the National Assembly to explain to the members of the public.
Some of your colleagues have...
Yes.
Some of your colleagues...
After all, it is not the President of the Senate, neither it is the Speaker of the House of Representatives that buy these vehicles. It's the management of the National Assembly that buy the vehicle. And if there are calls from members of the cabinet to come and explain, somebody from the management of the National Assembly should come and explain to members of the public how these vehicles are purchased, just in line with what I've just said now.
I think I would take that as a challenge.
Yeah, you should. Yes. Go and see the CNA or the deputy CNA or the various clerks.
Or the clerks.
Explain to you.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think I will take that. I accept that challenge. So what I'm going to do now, I was also thinking that this would have provided you a very good opportunity to check the executives who buy actually a lot of these vehicles. You understand? I hear many of your colleagues say, we leave them out and we concentrate on the members of the National Assembly. But you see, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. And so if you have been said, okay, you are doing local, then they will have no choice than to also do locals like you're doing, because you're the representative of the people. So speak.
I don't even want to go into what the executive is doing.
Yes.
But I'm more concerned with what the National Assembly is doing. I believe in patronizing made in Nigeria goods, whether it is vehicle you're talking about, food you're talking about, clothes you're talking about. But unfortunately, we don't do it. Yes, we are undoing ourselves. By patronizing foreign goods, we are merely harming our economy. Instead, let's promote economic growth by consuming what we produce. By so doing, we'll be promoting employment. And everything will be within Nigeria. But if you buy a foreign-made vehicle, more or less, you are promoting employment there.
Very true. Very true.
If you buy foreign food, like rice, tomato puree, vegetable oil, you are more or less promoting employment where these items are imported. For example, the issue of rice. Whether elected or not, the last administration has taken aggressive stand to boost agricultural production, particularly rice. Now, it will be wrong for anybody to come and say, bring in foreign rice. It will certainly affect the local production. And foreign rice, we know, most of it will not come into this country unless if it is nearing expiry date. Some of it will be about 5 to 6 years old in stores, in their storage. I will give you an example. In India, any rice export from India to any country, they must first of all check to ensure that they have strategic reserve that can last for about 7 years in case of eventuality. And then if they have excess, they will say, okay, sell this excess. And this excess they are selling, they will normally take the old stock that they produce, which will be about 4 to 5 years old. I say, okay, take this and send it to any country you want to. And that's what's come to Nigeria and other West African countries. Well, unfortunately, Nigerians don't understand. They keep on buying this foreign rice simply because it is cheap. They don't know that it is used to promote economic development elsewhere. Nigeria is being used as a dumping ground. Our youth that are normally engaged in large-scale rice production are sent out of jobs. Our processors, particularly millers, are now sent out of job because foreign rice is coming, and even if they produce, they cannot compete with the imported ones. For the simple fact that over there is economies of scale. Farmers are heavily supported. Agriculture is heavily subsidized. there is what we call R&D, research and development. 1 hectare, you can produce close to about 8 metric tons. Here in Nigeria, you cannot produce more than 4 tons per hectare. Only farmers that have adopted new technology can produce up to about 6 tons per hectare.
How, therefore, did you react when they lifted the ban on some of those items?
I'm not in support of lifting the ban on imported food items, particularly the ones that we can produce. I'm of the opinion that we have a large population. We should use it as an advantage to eat whatever we produce and produce more instead of buying foreign ones. Let's use what we produce.
Will you work towards ensuring that the Senate passes?
I'm already working on that. Yes, I'm already working on that. Anybody that brings any bill that is in support of large-scale agricultural production or patronizing made in Nigeria goods, I will support it. And in addition to whatever I will come up with, I'm in support of improving our strategic grain reserve, because in case of bad harvest or anything bad that happened to the country, we have to rely on the food reserve we have in order to feed ourselves. Like, for example, there was flood last year. Federal government had to use whatever was available in the strategic reserve to balance up the supply in the market. And that helped to bring the price of food items down, whether it is maize, millet, rice you are talking about.
Well, there's few more things we're going to come back and talk to before the round of the program. This is Violence Free World. I've been speaking with Senator Adamu Aliero. I will be right back after this time. Don't go away. Welcome back. Excellency, just before we went on break, you touched on unemployment. Now that you said unemployment, you see that's 33.3% in 2022. It has dropped. Unemployment level has dropped to, by the indices now being used, to 5.1. What do you think this does now? It's like, in which case, a lot of people say this is not a reflection of the reality on the ground. You know what I'm talking about. What do you think this does to our psyche?
Well, to be honest with you, people have decided that they are no longer going to rely on government to provide them with employment. They just are not there. The government is not expanding. So the private sector is now leading in employing people. A lot of industries are now coming up, particularly food processing industries. I will give you an example. As far back as 3 years ago, we don't have more than 15 rice mills in the country that are functioning. But as of today, we have more than 100 rice mills that are operating. And all of them are operating at full capacity. Unfortunately, this ban that has been lifted, or importation of foreign rice through the allocation of foreign exchange by central bank, will certainly make it possible for people to bring in rice, imported rice, that would be dumped into our economy, and it will going to affect.
So it will reverse the gains that we have made.
It will obviously reverse whatever gains we have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. It will reverse whatever gains we have.
Let's hope you succeed with legislation as far as this issue is.
Well, another factor that is also going to count against importers of food items is the high rise of, is the escalation cost of foreign exchange.
Okay.
Naira that was officially sold for 420 is now going for about 900, based on the latest information I got. So even if you import, even if you get the dollar to import, you can hardly compete with the locally produced rice, because if you bring it to the seaport, the customs will collect 70% import duty. I will give you an example. If you buy it for 1,000 naira, if the landing cost is 1,000 naira in Lagos port, you are expected to pay 700 naira import duty. That is 70% of the CI value, cost, insurance, and freight. So tell me, how will you make money? How will you bring it to the market and compete with the locally produced rice? In a way, it is giving you one thing with the right hand and taking it with the left hand. There's no way you can import rice in this country, pay prescribed duty and levy, and sell and make money, unless if you're going to smuggle it. Currently, what's happening now? And now it's our customs service and other security agencies that are at the port that will have the task of, combating smuggling of imported food items.
I'm hopeful that the government will have a rethink on this. But as we round off now, Excellency, I cannot leave this interview without having your thoughts on the much talked about state police. Recently, Katsina State launched their own version of their own civil arrangement. Police everywhere. Do you think that the time for state police has come now and that is actually inevitable?
Well, the state police, we have been discussing it at various levels. And we have extensively talked about it in the National Assembly. We even tried to amend the Constitution so that it will be possible to have state police. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the required number of senators and members of the House of Representatives that will amend the Constitution. So, for now, state police is in abeyance. What we are going to have now is a voluntary arrangement by citizens to assist the security agencies in the country. We will have volunteers that will work cooperatively and collaboratively with the police force and other security agencies to combat the insecurity situation in Nigeria. I appreciate the fact that we don't have enough policemen. We don't have enough soldiers. But we have a large number of volunteers that are willing to assist the police, that are willing to work hand in hand with the police to ensure that all the bandits are neutralized and all the insurgents, particularly in the northeast, are also neutralized. By the way, the insurgents have now even moved to northwest and north central. And they are causing a lot of havoc in these two regions. When the pressure was so much in northeast, they moved to northwest and north central. You heard of Ansar-Din in Nasarawa State, also in Niger State. The police, the army, the SSS are having a running battle to ensure that they neutralize them. And they have made tremendous success. And I commend them for the effort they have made so far, for the progress they have achieved so far. Unfortunately, in the north central, the insurgents that have been neutralized are now resurfacing. Even this morning, I was listening to BBC, where in Yobe State, about 40 people were killed. Initially, 20 people were attacked and killed in Yobe, when they were doing the funeral, the same Boko Haram people came and killed another 20 people, making 40 people. This is terrible. So the country is still at war with insurgency and also banditry. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing the right thing by allocating more resources to the security agents to fight both insurgents and also the bandits. Yesterday, we read the request of Mr. President to approve well over 1.5 trillion naira to security agents. This morning, we are approving that request because we believe that that request is necessary, it's urgent, it has to be done. But we want immediate result. We will monitor the utilization of the funds. We will do our oversight function to ensure that we achieve result. We will have deliverables at the end of maybe the year, at the end of the year, because when the money is released, we want to monitor and ensure that if it is insurgent, to what extent have you succeeded in bringing insurgency? If it is bandits, to what extent have you succeeded in bringing banditry in this area? We are no longer going to allow money to be given and then we sit down and watch. No. We have to perform our oversight constitutional responsibility. And that's what the legislature is all about.
Excellency, at this point, I'd like to thank you very much for finding time to oblige me. Thank you very much, Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I've been speaking with Senator Adamu Aliero, two-time governor, former governor of Kebbi State and former minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Same time next week, promises more if you endeavor to be here. Until then, please remember to remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. And thank you again for watching.